Hello guys, welcome to the channel. This is WvW. In today's video, I want to talk about what truly makes the difference between a noob and a pro player. Obviously, it's a long road. It's not simply from one step directly to the other. However, the really key difference, what really separate the two, it's what make you pro player. If I would have to put it in a category, I would split it into three things. And this video will talk about the first two, and the second we'll talk about the third. Now, what are those categories? The first one is understanding your class beyond just reading tooltips, knowing how to play a specific build or how things work, where does your damage come from. No, not the basics. I'm talking about really understanding where everything starts and where it does end. For example, learn your pre-cast, cast, and after-cast for your skills. So you would understand the tempo and the rhythm of every move, when the skill will end, when you can start the other, for skills that can queue and for skills that can't. And also understanding the tempo of the build and the class as a whole, so you would know when your skill come off cooldown, when to use the skill, the amount of tools and effectiveness those tools can actually be deployed as, also knowing when to engage, when you need to buy a few seconds so something will come off cooldown. Like this rhythm of when and how you use your skills and how they actually work. And I'll give you an example on my druid, since it have multiple things like this that you would actually need to know or understand. So let's say in a very dire situation when I'm fighting like 2 players or 3 and I already used my dodges, both of them, and now I got CC'd. I can use Lightning Reflex to dodge backward, cleanse the condition, stun break everything, and I can immediately, if I'm already having too many condition stuff, I can switch to my staff, trigger the sigil for getting energy, like a single dodge, and also cleansing 3 conditions. However, if you weapon swap before Lightning Reflex end its cast, you will cancel cast it. You will not get the boons and you will not get the condition cleanse. And if you wait a little bit longer, so the skill would finish its cast, you will have few frames depending on how long you waited, so the damage that you're trying to avoid, this extra burst, will land, or even extra CC, and now you're stuck. So you need to create a serious window in order to avoid it. So you need to exactly change both of the skills. So you wait till Lightning Reflex end and immediately switch the weapon and press your dodge button. So there is no window for the enemy to land anything. And it would look something like that. As you can see, I got the boons and everything, and I immediately went to staff. If I use it wrong, like I said, before it finished its cast, I will not get the condition cleanse, I will not get the vigor or anything. And if I wait too long, I can simply be damaged again while I'm already in a very bad situation. So I will use it now wrong, like before it finish the casting, and you will see what will happen. And as you can see, no boons, nothing will happen. So this is what I'm talking about, is understanding when the skill actually starts and when it ends, feeling this exact rhythm of movement. And that is a simple example, and every class have its own problems. For example, also for Ranger, you can go to something like Child of Earth, which will cast a smaller version of Muddy Terrain, lesser version of Muddy Terrain, that will give Immobilize, will cleanse the condition on you because of this trait, and will help you around just avoid the pressure of the enemy, especially with the slow and cripple. If you dodge immediately after casting your healing skill, panic dodge, or if you had to dodge, I guess that's fine, but if you dodge immediately after casting the healing skill, then you will not actually deploy it. It's happened like 2 parts of a second just after finishing the healing. So you learn to wait those moments, those tiny moments, just to cast the extra skill, saving yourself the condition and helping create a breathing room against your enemy, and then you can dodge. So I will use it wrong. As you can see, I healed and everything, but there is no lesser Muddy Terrain, nothing was casted. So I did it, or I dodged after the healing skill immediately, and I didn't wait for this tiny brief moment. And now I will use the healing skill correctly, as you can see, and now I have it. A very tiny brief difference of time, and just difference between using a skill and not. And every class in the game would have few of those, how use it. That's beside even the fact also in how the tempo of the fight is going, when your skills come off cooldown, when it's not. Some people even deploy a very unique tactic. It happened to work only with bar builds and very few of them. I even saw Wooden Potato use it on his Fresh Air Weaver like 5 years ago or even more, when they don't look to their weapon skills or their skills at all, or they cover it. So they know the cooldown just by memory and know how to use their burst specifically. It also used by some bar mirage back in the day, when you can simply chain dodges and vulnerability and stuff, and the enemy doesn't have a chance to even answer you back. And the moment the burst fade, you can immediately leave and stuff like that. This is an extreme case, obviously, of training, and if you ate some chill, it will already mess up this count, and if you get some slow, it will mess up your cast time. So it's a very extreme way. It might help you on the long run, but obviously it's a bit unrealistic. So to summarize, is understanding your skill, your precast, your cast, your aftercast, having the feel of it when it ends, when it's not, if it's Q, if it doesn't, and also knowing when it will come off cooldown, when you need to engage, when you need to buy some time and disengage, even for a few seconds, so you will have something else. It's really having the feel of your class, whether you can survive the situation or you don't. Like, will you be able to take that damage and heal through it? Will you have to avoid it? Stuff like that. It's a complete feeling and not a simple understanding of how the skill and mechanic works. It's a deeper understanding and awareness of everything that works around your class. Now that's the first part. The second part is learning to use your tools to its extreme level. Like every single thing, and I'm not saying the basics again, like learning how to CC, so your enemy now stuck or immobed, now you can burst them with your damage, you get damage, you heal, or use your heal skills. No, I'm talking about using it to a very extreme level of what the result will happen. This exact long CC, what will happen with this position, understanding even your surroundings, line of sight, so this skill can go through wall, the skill doesn't. It's really pulling every advantage you can use to yourself. And one of the places I think this is really quite a key, or you can see it as an obvious example, is the cap build in PvP. And even my droid, I consider it an example of this, because every time I explain this build or explain how to use it, I say you don't only need to control your position, your distance, your line of sight, and your choice of terrain or surrounding. You can control your enemy's position, and it's a very unique part of how we do damage on this build. Most builds or most people will think, I need to CC, now I got a knockdown, so let's use this burst skill, like warriors for example. However, for a build like this, you control where the enemy is specifically, through not only immobilize and keeping them at specific distance or CCing them, even having balls, you have this unique control. So some classes, it's not like only droid, there's many classes that can ball this off. Something like a dragon hunter, it can use the same thing because it have a ball. So it can really have a unique control of what's happening. And it's not just about ball, it's immobilize itself. And this is the example of a tool I want to talk about for druid. So I will give some example on decapping and capping against other players to adapt in a fight. Like in PvP, the idea is, let's just say you're entering in this capture point and the enemy is already standing in it. So you're attacking them from far, just like that, and your Iboga is next to you here. She can ball them while you get inside. Now they're out, they're immobilized, and while they're still here, you can CC them again or mobilize them again, you can get the capture. The same way other people used to do it with the knockback, like Scrubber and many other things. So not only just a ball, this is the easiest example I would give you, but also let's say an enemy coming toward you, like you're standing here and this is the point. So enemies coming here. You can simply entangle them to keep them out of the capture point. You can cast something like that. You can use Celestia Avatar to immobilize them before they reach the point and repeatedly CCing them, so now you have it. And even if they got in, you can simply dodge out, switch to Iboga if it wasn't already the bit you have. You can bolt them out and get in again. So you controlled where Iboga is standing, you bolt them out, and then you got in and try to burst them again. It's a battle for the point. And we will look at some footage to explain how this works. So in this first fight, I find the Harbinger, I trigger the ball, I get him out the moment I got in, and I CC him out of here. He's trying to engage again, so I immobilize him with my entangle, keep him out, the point is decapped, and now I'm trying to cabinet from him. So I'm go with a simple fight. Like I will try to burst him down, like him with every method that we already explained, and I even have a video on how to fight Harbinger. Druid is much weaker, or at least my build here, than it is in World vs. Wallet, since we can't have any form of healing power, so you need to pay attention to that. Now another fight, and my allies have already died, and I'm the only one left, and there's a sleep player, so we got in a really difficult situation right now. So 3 of them on me, so I chain my skills. As you can see, the timing of the dodge after a dodge, even wind swipe to staff, and now I'm trying to make a distance between us. So I want to go for the buff. I need to survive anyway, and now here we are. I immobilize the ally behind me, and once he cleans it, I use the root, which is very difficult to get out of comparing to just using Celestia Avatar, and I got the buff. I tried to go decap middle, and I've been chased by their Berserker, and he was playing very well and very dangerous, have crazy damage. So I immobilize him behind me, but he cleans it, so I use Celestia Avatar to immobilize him out, and I already got enough time to decap his point again. And I will keep repeat this into the match every time I could. Even so, we lost eventually, but I was trying to decap every point if possible. And again, I catch him out. I use another immobilize, and he's still stuck out. Use the signet right under his feet to make sure I will be able to decap it. And so I hope this was helpful, and you got quite the example on this idea of using everything that you have to its extreme level. So it's not an immobilize just to catch the enemy and damage them. It's a mobilize, which means the enemy will be stuck. So how we can use this, how this can be useful for us, it can be useful in so many ways. Same thing goes for a thing like ball. The timing even of using when to use SEC and when not to use it, when to go for a simple damage, for example. So this will be different from every build to another. It's simply you can get it through learning, through time, through watching other players that really know what they're doing, and also learning from their skills or videos that help you with tips and stuff. Like there's so many ways to learn that. But I would say the most important thing is to give yourself time and keep playing your class and your build and not give up on it. And eventually you will keep getting better at it. That's it for the video. I'll be seeing you next time.